Welcome to the Money Watch podcast. It's Tuesday, May 30th. I am your host, Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst and certified financial planner. And I'm joined by Mark Talercio, also a certified financial planner and the executive producer, the greatest co-host in the world. Mark, welcome.
Wow. Yes, here we are, rolling into the month of June. I was about to say May, rolling into the month of June.
Rolling in, and we thought this might be a good day to remind you that we missed this because we broadcast twice a week on this podcast, but yesterday, Mark, was 529 day, which is, I know you're excited about that.
Yeah, I actually am. I love 529s.
529 plans are pretty amazing because they are tax advantage savings plans. I am always amazed that these exist, Mark, because it's such a great deal. And I guess that it's tough to use a 529 plan unless you've covered a lot of your bases. So just to put this out there, even if you're planning on saving for college, maybe you shouldn't be. We talk to a lot of people and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I want to save for college. And we say, wait. Have you done the basic three things that need to get done? Have you put money into an emergency reserve account? Have you paid off your consumer debt? Have you funded your retirement plan at least to the best of your ability and maybe maxing it out? If you've done those three things and you still have excess money, if you want to save for education, then a 529 plan is kind of cool because this allows you to put money away, save for future education expenses. And if you've saved within a 529 plan environment and take the money out for education later, there's no tax due on all that accumulation. Some states even give you a state income tax benefit from putting money into these accounts. So you could, some places, not all, give you a current tax benefit. Then you save for your expenses going forward. When you take that money out, then you actually are amazed to find that you don't have to pay any tax, which is pretty cool, right, Mark?
I told you years ago when my sister has three kids. I was going to say small kids. They're not so small anymore. The oldest is now a teenager. I would go over to their house and their house would just be like littered with toys everywhere. You couldn't even walk. There was so much stuff on the floor. I'm thinking, these kids do not need any more toys for Christmas or for birthdays. So, I kept telling them, I'm like, you guys should really open up 529 accounts for the kids, get it going now while they're young, whatever. They never did it. So I did it on my own. I opened up 3 accounts for the kids, and for their birthdays and for Christmas, I just threw $100 in there. And maybe some other times throughout the year, I throw some money in there. And I did that. I never gave them any gifts. They probably think I'm the worst uncle ever because they never saw a gift from me. I just put money in the 529 account. When Theo came into the mix a few years ago, that stopped because Theo was the priority. But, here we are, and each account has like $10,000 in it. I mean, obviously not going to cover the cost of college, but it's something. It's better than toys that last for, all of a year.
Yeah. And there's a couple of different kinds of 529s because there are, like, what we're talking about is sort of a traditional college savings plan. But there's also there's a version of this that's a prepaid tuition plan. We've heard from people who use that prepaid tuition. It's kind of cool. You have to see what's available through your state. You don't have to use your state's plan, just to be clear. But sometimes states, like, say, the state of New York, does give you a nice benefit. And then the other thing that happened, there's sort of a couple of different things that happened in the timeline. The Tax Cut and Jobs Act, which was, I guess, 2017, right? That allowed you to use some of the money in a 529 plan, not just for college, but for private school. Now, Mark, does every state do that? I thought there were some interesting things about, like, there were some that said you could use it and you couldn't use it. So is it still state rules that kind of dictate the nature of the 529 plans?
Yeah, you can use it, but what will happen is not all states will allow you to use it tax-free. Some states, if you've been taking an income tax deduction for all those years and all of a sudden you want to use it for, private school, they'll recapture the state income tax deduction that you received.
Ugh, that's a pain in the neck. Now, last year, we had the Secure Act 2.0, right? And so this actually, I think, addresses one of the big reasons that some people don't like using the 529, which is that what if my kid doesn't go to college? Or what if my kid gets a scholarship? And this is kind of cool. This rule takes effect next year in 2024. The rule is that if you have an account that is open for 15 years and you don't use all the money, you can make a lifetime maximum contribution from the kid's 529 account to a Roth IRA. So the way the mechanism is, think of it this way. It's like there's a pool of money that's available for your kid. You don't use the money, right? You don't need it for school. Now, the amount you can put into that Roth IRA, you can't throw 35 grand in at once. Whatever the annual contribution limit is for the Roth IRA in the year that you are putting money in is what you're limited to putting in. Okay. So think of it this way. Right now, let's look at our retirement plan contributions. It's 2023, right? The maximum amount you can put into a Roth IRA is $6,500. So if you had $35,000 in a 529 plan and you didn't need that money, you, presuming the account was open for 15 years, you could put $6,500 into a Roth IRA for the beneficiary of the account. That's it. You know, obviously, if the kid is going to go to school, you're probably not going to have the money left over, but no more whining at what happens if. Now we know. Okay, good. Let me do a couple of emails. This is a question from Devin, who wants to know about a Roth versus a traditional retirement account. Should I contribute to a Roth or traditional 457 plan? I'm able to max out the annual amount in either, and I'm splitting 50-50 between both. I'm 32 years old. My income is $95,000. I have been averaging more than that $95,000. I've averaged $140,000 a year over the last 5 years, including my overtime. I have a small LLC. It brings in about $5,000. I would also like to leverage this for any retirement funding accounts that are available to me. Okay, here's what I think. I think 100% into the Roth. I know that you think that also, right, Mark?
No brainer. I don't even really need to look at the numbers other than his age. Look how young he is.
He's 32. And I don't know if he's single or married. Let's presume he or she. I don't even know if it's a he or she. Okay. So let's presume that you are single. And now I'm looking at the income level that, you know, the Roth IRA, you're probably already subject to some of the phase out. So you couldn't even use a Roth IRA on your own. So I think 100% goes into the Roth. I agree with you, Mark. And, you know, if there's more money that comes in from the LLC, in other words, if it brings in $5,000 now, but if all of a sudden it starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, we may even be able to create a separate retirement account on that income. But we don't have to worry about that now. Use this. And 32 years old, you're going to have tons of money. It's already been taxed. You're going to be so happy. Mark is right. Very happy. Okay, here we go. This is from Jocelyn. Hi, Mark and Jill. I'm a registered nurse, soon to be nurse practitioner. I recently relocated. I'm living in the Pacific Northwest. I'm 38 years old, single, no kids. I made the transition into nursing late in life, and the pandemic has created a financial windfall for RN contract workers like me. Last year, oh my God, Mark, last year she made $200,000. Why this year 120? Oh, because she's in school. Once I'm done with my graduate program, I will likely earn $120,000 to $140,000 in the Seattle area. So I don't understand, because last year, because the contract was just, you know, they needed so many nurses, she was able to make a lot of money.
Or maybe she worked a lot of overtime last year and she can't this year because she's in school.
Maybe. Okay, before nursing, I was a low-income earner, $30,000 to $40,000. Oh my God. I earned this salary for 15 years. And as a result, I feel way behind on retirement planning. Can I just stop a second? This person is unbelievable. She has just turned her entire life around. Talk about resetting your life. She commits to going to nursing later in life. She does it. Look at the amount of money she can earn now. Okay, let me get back to her. She's purchased a newly built townhouse in Seattle, $650,000. The interest rate is 5.75%. She writes, ouch, in all caps, which, by the way, is kind of funny because I'm looking at that and I'm saying, relative to the 6.5 or 7 you could do right now, not bad. Okay, she says, I'm feeling the squeeze on the rate. Is there anything I can do proactively to prepare for refinancing in the future? I put down $60,000 for purchase in May of 22. And I know that I need to have 20% equity invested to eventually refinance. I do not have a financial advisor. I've been self-educating for the last 2 years. All right, here's a summary of her finances. Her monthly income is $12,000. Monthly expenses, including fund money, is $6,500. The mortgage is 2/3 of that. Wow. Emergency fund is $55,000. That's great. Roth IRA, $17,000 in Vanguard. Traditional IRA, $13,000 in Vanguard. 401k from a previous employer, $5,500. Okay. Debt. $10,000 in student debt, which would be eligible for student debt relief. We'll see. We'll get that Supreme Court ruling very soon. $25,000 auto loan at 2.1%. No credit card debt. Estate documents are in order. Okay, so I don't think you need to be worried about saving money to put down on this. First of all, you're not going to refi anytime soon. It's not happening. So what I'm more interested in you doing is you've got your emergency fund, which is great. I'm sort of the opinion that let's just say in a year from now that interest rates are lower and you potentially could refi. Maybe the price of this whole of the townhouse will have risen and you'll have the equity. No matter what, when you have this job in a year, right? Because it's now she's going to make 120 right now and her monthly, she says her monthly income is right now $12,000, right? And if we know that, she has a certain amount of expenses she has to take care of, including the mortgage, right? Then if you think about it, if she had an extra $1,000 in a month, I think I want to make sure that whatever retirement plan you have available to you, if it has a match, then I would absolutely use that plan up to the match and put the rest in the emergency reserve fund. That's what I would do. And we don't know if the student debt may not actually be eligible for debt relief. It may pop up again. So don't pay down extra on the mortgage because you're going to refi anyway. But I don't know if you're going to refi for a couple of years. And I'm sort of feeling like we can build up your emergency fund, put in whatever you are eligible to get a match, because I think you're going to be working someplace where you'll be able to get that. And let's see where you land. I think in a year from now, we'll have more information, and not just about rates, but also about where you are in your life. I think that would be the best case for us, Jocelyn, is for you to take it easy, and get back in touch with us. I think that would be helpful.
And I wouldn't worry about being way behind on retirement. With all this extra money, you're going to start cranking.
Also, think about what she has just done. Just to put that in perspective, she was earning $30,000 to $40,000 a year for 15 years. And now we're talking about her making $120,000, $140,000 a year. Kudos to you, Jocelyn. You're kicking butt. So there's no looking back and like, oh, I did start. Who cares? You did great. You are doing great. Yay for Jocelyn. Thank goodness for Jocelyn. I think that's it, Mark. Have we reached our limit?
That's a wrap.
That is a wrap. We are very delighted that you join us every Tuesday and Thursday here at the Money Watch Pod, and we appreciate your doing so. When you go to our website, jillonmoney.com, there's lots of really good, fun, free stuff. There's a free weekly newsletter. Mark sends that out every Friday. There's also a link to our other podcast, Jill on Money, and our radio show, Jill on Money. There are videos, there's resources. And then if you got a few extra shekels and you want to spend some money, you can subscribe to our new service, Jill on Money Live. This is where you have access to quarterly live webinars and special interviews that we are able to conduct on the sly behind your backs. And you can also buy the book, The Great Money Reset. Mark Talercio is the co-host and executive producer. Karen Kranick is our web queen. We are distributed by Paramount Global. We drop our episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Put your hands metaphorically on someone's back. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you on Thursday.